Hi everyone, I'm back with another life hack for you. Today I want to talk about love and what does love mean to you and what does it mean to give love, to receive love, and to communicate and about our relationships and love. And one of the things I want to share with you, again, of course, another book, is The 5 Love Languages. If you haven't read this, read it. If you have read it, take a few minutes to go back to it because it's easy to kind of forget some of this stuff and fall back into some of our old patterns. The 5 Love Languages is basically explains the 5 different ways or styles that we can give or receive love. So the 5 are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And we all tend to have 1 or 2 of these that is more dominant than the others. And our partners or other people in our relationships, whether it's our children, our partner, our spouse, our parents, have different primary love languages. And we are all very different, every single one of us. We have all had different experiences in life. We've had different relationships. And we have different perspectives and ideas and thoughts and beliefs on what love is and what love means and how to show someone we love them and maybe what our expectation of receiving love is. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's just a perception based on what we've experienced so far in life. And what that means is that 2 people could be in a very close relationship and be seeing love completely differently. And that can kind of create a little bit of conflict at times, or it can create some confusion or misunderstandings. I can honestly say, reading this book, the first time I read it was very eye-opening. It made me realize that I was making a lot of assumptions, especially in my relationships with my husband and his primary love language. And sometimes we don't even really know or realize what our primary love language is. And the great thing about this book is there's a little quiz in here that you can complete that'll identify what your stronger primary love languages are. And you might be really fortunate to be in a relationship where you and your partner both have the same primary love language. And if that's the case, you're naturally going to show and communicate love in the way that you also want to receive it, that's just a bonus. But I think more often than not, most people in partnerships or relationships have different primary love languages, and that can be a little bit difficult at times. It can create some misunderstandings or miscommunications, or maybe even some tension. So the first thing you really need to do is get clear on what does love mean to you. So think about that. Take some time. What does love mean to you? And how do you show someone that you love them? And what is your expectation of receiving love? And then check with the book and, see where you're sitting. Once you know what your partner or your child or your parents' primary love language is, it's a lot easier to communicate with them and to show them love in a way that is going to meet their needs and that is going to be received with a lot more gratitude or a lot more, I don't know if satisfaction is the right word, but it's just going to be a lot more effective. So just to give you an example, if receiving gifts is your partner's primary love language and you never give them gifts, but you're always doing nice things for them, they're not going to feel loved. It sounds kind of silly, but it's true. If you're showing them in ways that they're not looking for love, it's not, that need isn't being met. Whereas if all of a sudden you are, giving gifts, and a gift might be just as simple as, just a card or some flowers or, here, I bought your favorite chocolate bar. if you're speaking to someone in their primary love language, you're totally lifting them up and you're really helping them to feel loved and to feel empowered. But if you're showing them in a way that they're not connecting with, that message isn't being delivered, right? I mean, usually still in relationships, we know our partner loves us or we feel that love, but to really, really strongly communicate it, the best way we can do so is by speaking in that person's primary love language. Once you've read the book, even if, your partner or your child or your parent or your dear friend hasn't done the quiz in the book, by reading and having a better understanding and taking some time to really notice the people in your life that you love, you can start to identify what their primary love language is. And then make the effort, be conscious to communicate and to respond to them in a way that meets their primary love language. And I think you'll find your relationships will be stronger, they'll be deeper, they'll be more understanding between, those involved in the relationship. You're going to empower each other, you're going to support each other. And it doesn't mean that, things are going to change and you're going to see love the same way. It's still okay to see love differently. It's all in how you communicate it and how it's received. So, life hack, read the 5 love languages, figure out what love means to you, take some time to figure out and understand what love means to your partner. Maybe sit down and have a conversation and ask, what does love mean to you? How do you like to show people that you love them? And how do you like to feel like you're loved? What makes you feel loved? And get clear on that rather than just, guessing and assuming, because we all know what assuming does, right? So there's your life hack for today. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you click that button. I'm going to be back with tons of more life hacks. By no means am I an expert. This is stuff that we need to practice all the time. Every day it's about living differently, about changing our lives to, make things better, to bring more abundance, to bring more joy, to end suffering, to be able to put closure to the past. Too many of us are kind of stuck on that hamster wheel. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm very fortunate to have been through a lot of trainings and workshops and have read some great books and have been able to apply things to see what works, what doesn't. And I can tell, when I'm doing the work and when I'm conscious and I'm aware and I'm making clear choices, things start to really fall into place in life. And when I kind of let go of that and I fall back into comfort, life kind of starts to go back to the same old shit. And not that my life is shit, but we all know, we've all had those times. Life is a roller coaster, right? Sometimes we're doing things and we're up here, and sometimes things start to go down here and it's like, what? Like we end up in that why me? What's going on? Why does this keep happening? It's because we keep falling back into the same old patterns. So click subscribe. I'm going to be back sharing all of these great things, all of the lessons that I've learned and that I'm still learning. So there'll be tons of stuff coming because I'm still learning too. And I've been very fortunate, but I also, like many of you, it's easy to fall back into old ways. So hopefully you can learn from my lessons and you can grow, create abundance in your life. Do the work, click subscribe, share, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day.